Hi there, I'm Carl Bliss. I'm with Northwestern Media based in Minneapolis. I manage interactive media for our network of radio stations, and I've really enjoyed these CMB peer-to-peer videos and appreciate being asked to share some of the things that we're excited about and some of the things that we're trying out as a network. I had a conversation with a friend recently, and it got me thinking. He works for a Minneapolis-based ad agency and works a little more on the innovative side of their campaigns, doing goofy things like sending a Snapchat from space. He said something that struck me. He said, we look at social media and search engine ads as legacy media now. So that means when putting an ad campaign together, they're doing broadcast and print, and now the digital side of that is just, it's taken for granted. It's all lumped in with those buys. It's not something that they view as being remarkably innovative anymore. So that struck me because we've been having conversations around the role of digital in our radio network, and I've been having conversations about our digital strategy. But his statement has caused me to step back and rethink a lot of that. Have the role of a digital strategy? Should we even work on putting one together? Most of our stations and networks at CMB have fundraising strategies if we're non-commercial. In 2016, you really can't put together a fundraising strategy without making digital a part of that, without thinking through email and web and social. And we create content, and increasingly digital platforms are extending the reach of a radio broadcaster into social media, blogging, videos like this. As our stations are working on their marketing efforts, I'm increasingly seeing terms like remarketing and paid reach become just standard parts of our conversation. We're already getting in the habit of putting money towards digital when it comes to marketing. So rather than maybe tasking someone in your organization to develop and execute a digital strategy, maybe it'd be better to task someone to be an advocate for digital in each of these other areas. Your digital team is a team that's continually watching the landscape of user behavior, looking at platform adoption, platform strength, looking maybe out at the horizon of what's coming. And then speak that knowledge into the greater organizational objectives and strategies. The other area I'm getting increasingly excited about is the area of personalization in our digital efforts. So the internet is built for this, but I'm a broadcaster by background. And so I still routinely think through our digital efforts in terms of broadcast efforts. We're in a studio and we're broadcasting to thousands. But the systems are increasingly in place for us to put together tactics that meet the user specifically where he or she is, to meet them as an individual rather than a collection. If you use Amazon or Netflix, you're used to seeing these personalized recommendations. For Amazon, it's become a huge part of their business, these personal recommendations. But personalization, at least for me, has traditionally just not gone much further than starting an email with "Dear First Name." We're often shy to ask for money too early in a relationship with our listener, but maybe if we put systems into place to identify and recognize somebody who's visited our site regularly, we could limit our asks to those highly engaged users. So in your organization, personalization could look like maybe customizing a donor appeal to acknowledge past donor behavior, putting simple name acquisition elements in place for traffic that's coming one time from social media or for search, that quick bouncing traffic. Maybe if you're a part of a network or a group, there could be some geographic targeting you could do with some of your messages. We could do the same thing with our email subscriptions. We're often shy to send out too many emails because we don't want to push people away, but we have some users who want to hear from us every single day. We have a verse of the day that we send out from most of our stations, and we have users who said, I want to hear from you every single day. I want to honor that, and I want to allow them to hear from us as often as they are. So it's a way for us to treat the individual as the individual they are. So as you set up your web platforms and even think through your efforts, think through ways that you can identify individuals. And that could sound really big, but start with creating a persona. Who are some maybe 4 or 5 key personas that are visiting your site? You probably have the highly engaged user who just comes to listen to music every day. Maybe the person who's coming to fill out a contest form or do something like that, read a blog post. Maybe a large part of your traffic found you for no reason that has to do with your radio station. Maybe it's a Google search term, a lyric page, or an article that they landed on from social. Maybe it's a post of yours that went viral. If you have one shot in front of that user, what's the one thing you want to ask of him or her? So start with that. Create 4 or 5 personas of individuals who visit your website. And then ask the question, what's the one thing we want that user to accomplish next? And put that customized call to action in front of them. There's a growing number of tools. I'd love to chat with you or talk to you more about some of the tools that we're using to make that happen. I don't want to be too pitchy here, but let me know if you want to talk through some of that. I'd love to geek out with you a little bit. Thanks for taking a few minutes to hang out. Look forward to hearing more from you in the near future.